Hey, what's up guys? This is Les with The Perfect Subject. Today we're doing a review of the RF 24-70 2.8 L lens by Canon. This is an awesome lens. I just got it in a couple days ago. I've been doing some shooting with it and I've been loving it so far. I just wanted to share with you guys what my experiences with it are and give you a place to look at all the specs in one solid little video. So to start things off, I would do an unboxing, but as you can see, the box is kind of already open. So let's just talk about what comes in the box instead of doing an actual unboxing. For starters, it's gonna include one of these lovely Canon bags. This comes with practically every Canon lens that has ever been made. So I'm sure a lot of people have just like a treasure trove of these. If you have an idea of something I could do with these, because I have far too many of them, let me know and maybe we can make something cool out of it, I don't know. It also comes with a lens hood. This one is reversible, so it goes on both the front and the back, depending on how you're carrying your lens around with you. And it also has a little bit of a locking mechanism right there, so you can see that. That's just gonna make sure that it doesn't fall off the lens when you're walking around with it. And to get into it, here is the lens. This lens is really durable from what I've seen so far. You know, I haven't been throwing it around, but from what I can tell, it's a pretty high quality lens, all right? We're gonna go over a couple specs of this lens. There's been, you know, a couple videos here and there that have talked about the lens and everything it can do. There's been a single spec that I was not able to find anywhere online, and that could have just been from me not looking hard enough. Not saying it's not out there, but I couldn't find it. But anyways, to start things off, the lens weighs approximately 1.98 pounds or 900 grams if you roll like that. The housing itself is made from plastic. There's a few rubber parts here and there on your focus ring and your focal ring. It also has a metal mount for your camera. This lens has a 9-blade aperture right through the center. It opens up to a total of 2.8, as you know. The 9-blade aperture is going to make sure that your bokeh is going to be super crisp. It's those little bokeh balls, as you could call them. You're going to be pretty cylindrical. Is it cylindrical or circular? They'll be very circular, if I do say so myself. There's a total of 21 elements in 15 different groups. Your element is basically each piece of glass that's inside of here, and a group is whenever you take 2 or more elements and you put them together. You group them together, right? There's a total of 21 elements in here grouped into 15 different groups. This lens has an 82mm filter size, meaning the filters you buy for it are going to be pretty expensive. They're going to be on the pricier side of things. What I did is whenever I started purchasing my variable ND filters is I bought them at 82mm and I used a step down ring or a step up ring. I don't remember which one does which, but I purchased a couple of step down rings and step up rings. In fact, there's one on the camera right now. This step up ring is a step up from 77 to 82, meaning the lens that you're seeing right now has a 77mm filter size, but after adding this ring, it turns into 82. So all my larger NDs can now fit on a smaller element. I'd strongly suggest purchasing one of these, or actually the entire kit. At 24mm, the focusing distance of this lens is 8.27 inches or 0.21 meters. At 70mm, it's 1 foot 3 inches or 0.38 meters. Now, contrary to popular belief, I think that focus distance, you know, while it is important, it's even more important to talk about the working distance of a lens. And this is a stat that I had a little bit of trouble finding online. I actually didn't find out what the working distance of this lens was until I had it in my hands. So not to say this information isn't out there, but it's not easily accessible. And to me, working distance is incredibly important. Your working distance is the distance between the front element and your subject, whereas the focus distance is from your sensor plane to your subject. To talk on that a little bit, the working distance of this lens at 24mm is 2.25 inches, which is way smaller than the 8.27 that you see online. And for all you crazy cats and kittens out there who don't use inches, it's 5.7 centimeters. And at 70mm, your working distance is actually 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters. If you're gonna use this lens to shoot weddings or events or anything macro related, the working distance is incredibly important. You know, if you're at a wedding and you need to get that ring shot, having a macro lens is gonna be a saving grace. I can tell you from experience, if I bring my 85 1.2 out there, the working distance of that is almost 3 feet. It's not a tight shot. So working distance is incredibly important. Another variable to consider about this lens is the non-internal zooming that this lens has. As you zoom in from 24 to 70, there's gonna be a 1 1/8 inch deviance just in the front element of the lens. And that's something to consider, especially if you're gonna be using this on a gimbal. It's gonna cause you to have to rebalance. A quick way to get around that, quick tip for you, is take your lens about halfway out and balance it there on your gimbal. That way, whenever you do make those smaller adjustments, whenever you are running gunning with this, you don't have to worry too much about messing that up. Overall, this lens is incredibly well built. It's solid, it feels great in the hands. There's almost nothing wrong with it. That being said, there's a small part of this lens that I'm not too keen about. That is actually this locking mechanism right here. I think the locking mechanism itself is great, but when you go to mount this lens on your camera, if this lock isn't engaged, as you turn this, you're gonna zoom out inevitably, just a little bit. And the reason for that is because the entire midsection of this lens rotates. There's not a single point that you can hold onto in the middle of this lens that isn't going to turn whenever you're trying to mount it. There is a part on the lens that you can hold onto, which is right here, right in between your focus ring and your control ring. It's a tiny sliver that you can hold onto. This is the only non-rotating part of the lens other than this mount down here. So you have 2 points on this lens that you can grab by that will not turn. Outside of that, you could just lock your lens and that'll probably work too. One other thing I did notice about this locking feature is actually kind of odd, and if any of you understand why this is, let me know. But basically, it locks at 24 millimeters and it also locks at 30 millimeters. And I don't know why that is. It doesn't lock at 50, it doesn't lock at 70, it only locks at 24 and 30. So I found that to be a little odd. Maybe the 30 millimeter isn't supposed to actually lock right there, but it's just something I picked up. Another gripe I have with this lens is the cap, and that is just more of an RF lens sort of thing. But the back cap of the lens, you'll see a little line right here. If this line is not lined up with the red ring that is on your lens, then it won't go on. It won't lock onto the lens. That's not an issue we had with the EF lineup. You could take your cap of any lens and you could just screw it on just fine. Again, just a minor inconvenience, nothing too crazy. You know, at this point I'm just being nitpicky with the things that I'm finding to not like about this lens, because honestly, it's a pretty solid lens. There's not much to not like about it. When you're mounting this lens onto your camera, the entire body of the camera is gonna lie flat. It's gonna lie flush on the table. Unlike some of the more expensive lenses like the 28 to 70 F2, which we're gonna get your review in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that one. I'll throw a couple pictures on the screen so you can sort of see the image quality that this lens produces. And here are some quick photos I took to help show the difference between f-stops. For a deeper look into these comparisons, I'll leave a link below to another YouTuber's video. He does a great job showing the differences between focal lengths. And that's all I really got for you guys today. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comment section below. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.